अपार सच्चित् सुगवारिराशेर् यस्योर्मिमात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि अन्तर्यश्च बहिर्विदूदतिमिरं ज्योतिर्मयं शाश्वतं स्थानं प्राप्य विराजते विनमताम् अज्ञानमुन्मूलयन् पश्यन् विश्वम् अपीतं मुल्लसति यो विश्वस्य पारे परः तस्मै श्रीरमणाय लोकगुरवे शोकस्य हन्त्रे नमः। नमो रमणाय। We saw up to Sloka 27 in the previous session, and we'll see the meaning of 28, 29, and 30, and then go for a recap of the entire Upadesa Saram. Right from start, we can go. We can have a summary. So we'll start off with the 28th sloka from where we have to start today. And sloka 28 says, किं स्वरूपमेत्यात्मदर्शने अव्यया भवात् पूर्णचित् सुखम्. Of course, we did see sloka 28 a little in the previous class, but we'll start here. It says, Kim Swarupam. Kim. Kim is what? What is the Swarupa? Swarupam iti. This. So, what is the Swarupa? If one inquires thus, Atma Darshane, the self, when the vision is obtained, when the vision of the self, but because of such inquiry is obtained, how is it? How is that self? Avyaya. It is avyaya. It is inexhaustible. It is unending. It is never ending. Avyaya. Abhava. It is unborn. Abhava is something not born. So that something not born is, which means it something has no end. It is undying. It is uncaused because it is uncaused. It is always forever existent. It is like the aja. It is never born, never. So because it is not born, every entity that has got a seeming birth always has to necessarily have a phase called death. But for the self, there is no ending, there is no beginning, because there is no beginning. It is always like that. It is abhava, it is apurna. Apurna is purnam. It is full, it is all pervading, it is infinite, it is everywhere. It is there is not a there is not an inch, there is not a place where the self is not there. Self is vyapakam in all the places. So it is apurva. Chit sukam. It is always of the nature of consciousness, bliss. Chit is consciousness, Sukam is bliss. So this Sat, what is this Sat we are talking about is nothing but Kim Swarupamiti. What is the Swarupa? If we inquire about the Swarupa, then we will come to know that it has got there is no, it is always permanently available. That is why it is everywhere. The self is not some, because self is something that is totally infinite. It cannot be conceived by mind. Mind is very finite. It has got no capability or no ability to understand the self. So what is self then? In which case, how can you know self? How is the only tool we have is mind. So, but all the Upanishads, they say you have to know the self, even though it is only a secondary meaning that you have to know. But okay, what should I do? I'm able to understand the self is beyond all my capability, my rising eyes capability, or beyond anything I cannot do. So, what is the use of self for me? You can always be self. You cannot know self because of its nature. Like we saw, it is abhava, it is apurna. Because it's so vast, how can anybody comprehend the vastness of the self? As it is, the universe is finite, and we are not able to understand anything beyond the range of our solar system. We are not able to really understand anything without the help of some very massive telescopes. Even that is seeing only about 20% of this entire universe. When this finite universe created by the mind itself is of that nature, what do we say about the ever the one that creates all this, the one because of which all this is existent, the one because of the existence of the self, all this universe, everything, whatever the mind can conjure up, all is existent. But the mind can never catch up with the self, can never know the self. So what do we do now? Don't use we are now convinced that the faculty called mind is not going to show the self. What can the faculty called mind can be useful in one way? It can merge with the self. It can merge. That is, let the faculty not get into the habit of doing its mischief again and again. Instead, let it surrender to the self, let it surrender to the Paramatma, and let it be at the feet of Paramatma. In the sense, let it just fall on the Paramatma, on the self. At that time, the self will be known. Known again, the being is felt because the being has the built-in ability to know its being. We have seen that, and we will be seeing it again also. So, the self is Sat. Sat is nothing but being. And being, again, okay, I have something. We know being of the beingness of all the objects in front of us. It is there, we accept. But this is not the being of an object. This is the nature of being itself. When we say, okay, I have a bottle here, okay, now what does it mean? The bottle is there. It has got its own beingness. The bottle has got its own beingness. But it is only the focus is not on the being now when we see the objects. It is on the object. So the focus, when we say understand the being, in our normal tendency, we will not be able to see it the way it has to be seen because our focus is thoroughly on the object and not on the process of being itself. So it can only, at the level of Sachitananda Parabrahma, only being is there. There is nothing beyond being. So the being also has the faculty or has the knowledge of its being because of the chit aspect of the Sachitananda. So this is the only way of knowing the being. This is only what is mean by you have to know when the Upanishad says, when Shastra says, you have to know the Atman, which means it clearly means you have to be as the Atman. So this is the 28th sloka where the three important hallmarks of the self has been given. That is, it is avyaya, it is inexhaustible, it is abhava, it is unborn, and it is apurna. It is complete, it is inexhaustible, it is all pervading. It is everywhere, sarva vyapakam. It is there everywhere. This is this is how you can. This is the only way in which you can understand the self. Now, having understood the self, you have to be the self is also said. And the 29th sloka, Bhagavad goes on to say, Bandha mukyati param sukam vindati haji vastu dhaivikaha. Bandha is bondage. Mukti is liberation. Bandha mukti atitam. Once you go beyond this bandha status of bandha and mukti, that is the beyond the status of being trapped or being having the feeling that one is trapped in the status of bondage or liberation. Just go behind the thought, transcend the thought. Parama sukham, Paramasukham, supreme bliss is there once we are able to transcend, because all these this thought of bandha and mukti are all happening, the state of bondage and liberation are happening only after the rising of the mind, because it's all mind's Mind is only that is thinking that it is under bondage, it is working for liberation, it is liberated, and all that is the working of mind. So when you transcend that level, what happens? Parama Sukham is waiting there for you. The Parama Sukham is the ultimate supreme bliss that we are talking about. Vindati is one attains that Parama Sukham. So, iti here, iha, jiva, jiva, that is the individual. Two, that two is an emphasis word, daivikaha, one who has realized his divinity. This is the when you say you have to be the know the God, you have to be the God, and when you how you be the God, transcend the thought of bondage and liberation. You are not bound, you are not liberated. Bondage and liberation are only for the limited mind that rises up, not for the limited, the conditioned the I, the feeling of egoity, the ego, ahamkara, which is full of upadhis. For that only, all this bondage and liberation is there. Once we cross the state of this upadhis, and we also saw in one of the previous slokas that Ishvara and Jiva are one and the same, excepting for the nature of their upadhis. Ishvara does not have Upadhi. Even if you have to postulate an Upadhi for Ishvara, it is Shuddhamaya, which is under Ishvara's control. For Jiva, there is nothing but Upadhi. Everything is a Upadhi. It is all built on the foundation called Upadhi, starting from the mind. The mind is a very important Upadhi. All this avidya, all this is creation of avidya. So this is Jiva's Upadhi. So when the Jiva's Upadhi is gone, Jiva becomes Ishvara, and at that stage, Ishvara is not under any bondage or liberation. So when we go to that level of non-bondage, non-liberation, we will be only facing pure bliss. So in this, the bliss aspect of Sachitananda is talked about in this song also. In this song, it is brought about. Banda Mukti Atitam Parama Sukham Vindahi Jiva for the Jiva. It is only here when this very world, while still in the body, at that time itself, the Jiva becomes one with the Lord. Daivikaha, it obtains all the qualities of the God. The individual who has realized his divinity attains here and now the supreme bliss that is beyond bondage and liberation. So what we need to do, we need to not entertain the thoughts called bandha or mukti. I am not bound. I am the limitless self. We have to have the conviction that we are the limitless self. Only then we'll be able to transcend the boundary of this bondage and this thought of bondage and liberation. So how we do it, we have seen sloka 16 to 20 has been elaborately given to us to, in fact, achieve this particular status of transcending the thought of bandha and mukti. So when a seeker embarks on the sadhana, it is with the intention of realizing the self. This everybody knows, whereby he will be released from bondage of samsara. This is the purpose with which the seeker starts. When the sadhana is successfully concluded, his individuality, which is illusory, is destroyed. It is dissolved. And the self alone abides as supreme bliss. There is hence no longer any individual left to own up the liberation or anyone that thinks that he is under bondage. So once we go to that stage, we will know there is no bondage. Bhagavan has emphatically told this in many places that bondage and liberation are nothing but thoughts. You don't need to be very seriously entertaining such a notion. All we have to do is stop the thought called bondage and liberation. How to do it? Stop the faculty that understands bondage and liberation or processes bondage and liberation or teaches us that there is something called bondage. You are bound, you are liberated. What is that faculty? That faculty is mind. So when you go to the state of no mind, nothing is there. So we don't need to be really bothered or afraid that I am under the bondage and I am liberated and things like that. So the 29th song, Bhagavan clearly says the thought there is Bhagavan also Bhagavan has quoted sloka from Gaudapadacharya's Mandukya Karika. in the third prakarana called Advaita Prakarana, where Gaudapadacharya says, Na Nirodha, na Cho Utpatti, na Bandho, na Mukto, na Mumuksha. There's nothing. He clearly goes to the state of Ajata, very clearly declares there is no one bound, there is no one seeking, no one to be released. There is no mumukshu. Mumukshu is the one who is working hard towards liberation, towards attaining. There is no mumukshu. There is no bhaddo. There is nobody is bound, and there is nothing at all. There is no process. Everything is as it has to be. Na nirada, na cho utpatti, na bhaddo, na mumuksho. So nobody is seeking anything. This is clearly stated by Bhagavad, the grand preceptor of Shankara Bhagavad Pada, Gaudapadacharya in Mandukya Karikan. Bhagavan has quoted this on occasions. Yes, many times he's quoted. And this is the core of Bhagavan's teaching also, because it is all ajata. There's nothing. There is only being. There is only pure being without any upadhi. So this is something taught by Bhagavan. We will go to the 30th song. So, having clearly come to a very beautiful stage of this Upadesa Saram, where it is said there is nothing at all. All these processes are taught from Sloka 1 to 28, 29, 1 to 28. All this is for you to understand the 29th essence of 29th Sloka, which is there is no bondage, there is no liberation. And there is only pure Paramanandam, the pure bliss that exists. There's nothing beyond that bliss at all. It's clearly said here. Okay, so the 30th song is a tribute. It's a fitting tribute to Bhagavan, composed by Muruganar, initially in Tamil. And Bhagavan, when he translated it into Sanskrit, he himself wrote this the tribute song on him by Muruganar, and he gave it in the other three languages also, in Sanskrit, in Telugu, and in Malayalam also, where Muruganar says the nature of tapas, according to our Maharishi. What is the nature of tapas? We all talk about tapas. So many people say they know to do this, that, this yoga, that yoga, and all that. But Muruganar has understood tapas based on the work so far, based on the teachings of Bhagavan so far in all these previous slokas. He says, Aham apertakam nijavibhanakam mahahidam tapo ramanavakiyam. Aham is the limited self he is referring to, the ego. The aham, apetakam, free from. If the ego is freed, nija vibhanakam. Nija is the self. Vibhanakam is shining. The shining of self takes place. Mahat, this is great. Idam, this is Mahat. Tapo, this is the best penance. This is Ramana Vak Yam. This is Ramana's speech. Vak is speech, assertion of the teaching. Yam. This is Ramana's teaching. So this is the penance according to Bhagavan Ramana. That is, what is this penance? Aham apetakam, just being free from ego, is the tapas. That all the Upanishads, all the Vedanta, the volumes and volumes of preachings, books written by scholars, written by gurus from ancient time to till modern time, everyone. Bhagavan, according to Muruganar's understanding of Bhagavan's teaching, Bhagavan says, if we have to summarize Bhagavan's teaching, it is only being. Like we see, he has given the instruction to us to ripe people, ripe, mature devotees who have just like a camphor, just a fire setting, the camphor it is caught on people. We saw examples. Tinay Swami is one we know of, and plenty of other people. Muruganar was equally like that only. Bhagavan said, be. So, in this 30th song, he says, Bhagavan, aham apetakam, free, the shining of the self, free from ego. This is real tapas, this is penance, this is Ramana's teaching. He concludes with a sweeping conviction that aha mano nasha, the elimination of ego. As we see, this mind is known by plenty of names. Mind is one name, ego is one name, jiva is one name, samsara is one name. Plenty of other names are there for mind. And so here he talks about the mind, the aham apetakam. This is all this Bhagavan's teaching. He summarized this, the whole, he understands. Look at the clarity the 30th song brings in. Nothing. Simple. You want to understand Bhagavan's teaching. If somebody asks, let us say, somebody is new to our Bhagavan's teaching, and who hears of Bhagavan or sees Bhagavan's picture somewhere and says, hey, what does Bhagavan teach? Bhagavan teaches be. He says, get rid of the ego. Now, in order to do that, he has given 29 songs before. Bhagavan has given out of mercy, out of consideration for Murugan's request, he immediately gave. And then he has wrote Ulladu Narpadu, the whole work of the method of self-purification, the nature of the world, the nature of Jiva, the nature of Ishvara, all that he has spoken about it. Ulladu Narpadu. And he is also told how to be how to go to the being, or say again, just for the sake of usage of word, to go to being, but you are always doing only. But in this 30th song, this is what Muruganar completely, with understanding, with such a plenary understanding, he concludes what is tapas. You don't need to think of, when somebody say you have to do tapas, you have to do the nothing, be ego free. That is tapas. Muruganar concludes here in this song and says, Aham apetakam nija vibhanakam mahat idam tapo ramana vakiyam. Muruganar concludes the Upadesa Saram, which Bhagavan started and gave 29 Upadesas in form of small poems, aphorisms, and the conclusion is evident. Be without the rising ego. Don't rise as this individual Vyakti ego. Always be as your true nature, which is what you are. Stop the imagination which has been happening for eons. It has been happening for janmas together. Let this be the last. Now that we have come into the fold of Bhagavan, now that Bhagavan has graciously taken this body and for our sake underwent the body's pain. At least he did not, maybe he did not, we can't say anything, but we saw Bhagavan in his last years, couple of years, how much excruciating pain, at least from our point of view, we are not able to bear. Why did he go? Why did he have to do all this? He graciously came about and taught us Upadesa Saram and the way to do it. And our only bounden duty is to get rid of this ego. Nothing else we need to do. And Bhagavan's grace, as we have been seeing all through, is forever with us, Bhagavan's grace. There is not a minute that Bhagavan's grace is not working on us. And with the help of this Upadesa Saram, one and all should cross over the what do you call it, the samsara, cross over the great danger called samsara. It's all false, we will come to know. And once we go to the state, we are going to anyway laugh at ourselves, our efforts, our understanding of the world, our ways in the world, our means in the world, our doings in the world. Everything is laughable because everything is such an imagination. In the ultimate sense of ajata, which is the truth that Bhagavan has clearly said. In Guruvacha Kakovai, 100th song, I think 93rd song, Muruganar says, even though, I think 100th song only, even though Ramana Bhagavan has taught many different ways of understanding to many people, to many sincere seekers who came to Bhagavan in order to understand what they should be doing and all that. And according to their maturity, according to their temperament, Bhagavan has indeed given various margas, seemingly. But later on, he will direct them to the right marga. But still, even if Bhagavan had given, has taught, even in the entire Upadesa Saram and Ulladu Narpadu everywhere. Only Vivarta Siddhanta is taught by Bhagavan. Vivarta Siddhanta means just false appearance. To understand it very easily. That is, this world is only an appearance. The world has got something else as its substratum on which it seemingly appears. That substratum is nothing but Brahman. So that is the only truth. Just like how the snake appears on the rope, on scrutiny, we know that there is no snake, there is only an appearance. Similarly, there is only an appearance called world and all the jivas in the world. Because when we say there is one appearance of world, all the jivas are also part of the world. We cannot be apart from the world. We are part of the world and we are all the same jivas only. So even though Bhagavan concedes for our sake, and if we have, Bhagavan can always be in his own sthiti, in his own state without, always he is. But in order for us to understand, he came down a step and used this Vivarta Siddhanta and taught us. But even though he did it, Bhagavan was always in this unshakable state of Ajata. He was always there in that state only. And Bhagavan has emphatically declared to people like Murugan that that is the state of Bhagavan. Only for our sake, Bhagavan conceals and teaches. First, there is an appearance. Even though the first song of Ulladu Narpadu, Bhagavan starts, Nam Ulagam Kandalan. It means because we see the world. We have to understand all the so many things around the world. We are understanding. Our understanding is come there. Again, he did not say because there is a world. Never he concedes. Even in the teaching, he only dilutes it to the extent needed for us to understand. Never compromises the teaching. So, Vivarta, to the level of Vivarta, he Bhagavan came down for our benefit, and he has given all these slokas. Why should he? Excepting for the Karuna, such a Karuna he's got. Karuna Purna Sutabde, Kamalita Gana Vishwarupa Kirana Valya. He talks about Aruna, he invokes Arunachala. Arunachala is full of Karuna, Karunyam. Karuna Purna Sutabde. That song in Arunachala, end of Arunachala Stuti Panchakam, it is called Arunachala Pancharastam. The 5 gems given by Bhagavan. We will take up next Arunachala Stuti Panchakam. But this is the beauty of Upadesa Saram, and I think we have done this subject again and again. We are always, we'll always stay in Upadesa Saram, but the most practical and the most easiest understandable teaching of Bhagavan is put forth here with all respect to Murugana Swami, who was instrumental for us to get this Upadesa Saram and in many languages, including Tamil, Sanskrit, Malayalam, Telugu. Let us pray to Bhagavan and go into a minute or two of dhyana. So, we have a quick rundown of Upadesa Saram, the summary or short version of Upadesa Saram, which started, as we see, for the sake of the rishis of Daruka forest. They were all fully into Karma Kanda. They were all Purva Mimamsaka, who always were under the impression that it has to be work only that has to be done, as per the injunction given in the Vedic statements. This is all their life was. This is all they thought. All the Purva the Purva Paksha of Vedas, they are called Karma Kanda. They are all full of instructions given only for the sake of purification and not the end in itself. For the end in itself, Veda Anta, that is Vedanta, has to be followed, understood, practiced. That Vedanta is nothing but the Upanishads that we have. The first part is full of karma. It's all for purification, it's all for livelihood, and all that is fine. But one has to come to this level. But these munis, these rishis in Daruka forest, they were stuck in the initial the karma kanda. They were always doing this karma, that karma, for all with an end in mind. They always have a sankalpa to achieve this or that, and based on that, they were doing the karmas. Then, on one occasion, uh, our Lord of Mercy, Shiva, wanted to make these people understand. These are all good meaning rishis. They are all doing well, but they are they have not understood the ultimate essence of the teachings of Vedas. And in order to teach them, Shiva comes in a form of a medicine, and he teaches them. This is what the fight, a big, we have seen it in elaboration. A fight breaks out between Shiva, those Munis, the Rishis, they pick up a big fight with Shiva, thinking whatever they are doing is the right thing, or karma is the only thing that they have to do, invoking so many things, and all that is there. And at the end of it, they become humble enough when they are totally consumed, when they were totally defeated by our Lord, and they fall at Shiva's feet in all humbleness and ask, Bhagavan, yes, we don't understand. Our karmas have never failed us. Our karmas has also always been giving us the right palas that we are all desiring. But this time, for some reason, we are not able to understand. We are not able to comprehend. It failed us. Please teach us what is the way, what is why it is happening, and how what we should be doing. And Bhagavan, so understanding their background, their that they are very raw at this time in terms of their karma and not understanding the nature of karma, he first starts off by teaching the nature of karma. He says, so in the first sloka, he started of saying, by the decree of God, the soul doer is obtained, the karma phala. They thought they do the karma itself by its own merit will give uh, the phala of the karma. But Lord starts off by saying it cannot happen because karma is jata, insentient. Karma is a jata vastu. Only a chit vastu can do anything. A jata vastu cannot produce anything. It can be used as a tool, that's all, at best. So he says, okay, you've done the karma. The karma is, there is a phala for the karma, but a sentient entity, a chit vastu called God, is the one that is bestowing the karma phala on you. Has been taught by Bhagavan. He says this is why the karma did not give, because you didn't propitiate the God in the way the God has to be propitiated. You are only going behind karmas, you totally ignored the Ishvara. The Ishvara Tattvam was completely given up by you, or not understood by you, or you thought in your concept, you always thought that it is not needed. Now that Ishvara is holding back the karma, as simple as this. The first sloka itself is hitting the nail. He is taking the step is taken as to what these people should know. And Bhagavan, our Bhagavan Ramana, so beautifully understands the raw nature of people who come to him, all the newcomers to the Marga. So there are so many people. Oh, why? Even every one of us, for that matter, whenever we came initially in our early days when we came to Bhagavan, this is how we started. We wanted to do this, that, this, that. Slowly, starting itself, he unsettles and makes you understand this karma is jata. So, karma is not at all important in this marga. There is value for karma, as Bhagavan teaches in the next two slokas, only for the sake of chittasuddhi, not to give any end result. It cannot give. So, in the next sloka, he says, what will he say? Kruti maho dadau. Padana karanam palamasashvatam gati nirodhakam. He says, like a great ocean, only action is a cost for one falling into the great ocean of action. Its fruit is not lasting. And not only that, it is obstruction for, it proves as an obstruction for liberation. Gati nirodhakam, he declares in this sloka. So, all these karma, which is done with something in mind, with some sankalpa, they will immerse you into the great ocean called samsara. They will not allow you to come out. And they will again and again and again make you do the same old action without non-stop, because it'll keep on pushing you into that ocean. Repeatedly you will be doing. So this is what is happening. This is what is the nature of karma, that is has got sankalpa on top of it. If you do something with the aim of result, you will be, whether it is good or bad, it does not matter. A karma is a karma. The karma pala can be good karma, good pala or bad pala according to the karma you have done. But still, it will not, because you have that sankalpa pattern along with it, it won't leave you. It will keep on repeating, push you, immerse you into doing more and more karma, and the samsara cycle continues without end. So, do karma, if at all you have to do karma, do it with a spirit of Ishvara Arpitam, dedicated to God. God, this karma is fallen on my hand. I am doing it, that's all. I don't know. It's for you. In Bhagavad Gita, this is taught to Arjuna when Karma Marga was, as a Kshatriya Dharma, Karma Marga was taught to Arjuna. And Bhagavan says, everything surrender onto me, keep doing your job. Your job is to go and fight. Fight. That's all. Nothing else. The karma, you don't need to be bothered about the result. The ordainer, me, I will keep the fruits. Whatever is right. So, this fruit that we get with such kind of a bhava, if we do our action by means of doing the Ishvara Arpitam, our Chitta Sutti will be increased. The purity of mind will increase because it is that mala called anava is removed. The mala, the filthy bonding in the mind in form of ego will slowly subside. So Bhagavan says, if at all you have to do karma, do it with the spirit of Ishvara Arpitam. And having talked about Ishvara Arpitam, let's now see a little bit about what this marga called bhakti, doing bhakti to Lord is. So he starts here and says it can be done by the action in dedication to Lord can be done by body, speech, and mind. Or either one of them can be employed to do the karma, namely worship, japa, and meditation. And increasingly in that order, they are better. Meaning, when you do something, an action or an action called meditation with the help of the mind, it is better than repeating the name of the Lord with using the organ called speech, called japa, which is better than the performance of puja and other things, which is done by kayam. Kayam is body. So kayam is inferior to vak, which is inferior to mana. But one thing is implicitly understood here is that is never meaning to say that you should not do puja, because most of us don't do anything. So doing puja is so thousands of times better than doing nothing. It will definitely make you progress. Initial starting. Anyway, we'll have to start with step 1. We cannot directly put our step in step 99. It is not possible. Step 1, step 2, step 3, we have to go. So initially, for the initial beginner in the marga, let him start with puja. Let him do his daily puja. It will give him a beautiful strength called asanam, meaning ability to sit in puja for a period of time, which is also needed when you do your japa, when you do your any other meditation, whatever. Initially, you can do vichara anywhere, while doing any activity. But for the initial person, for a newcomer to settle down, the asanam becomes very important in order to obtain the ability to sit in one place for a period of time. He is initially told, do puja. How the Lord is there, do the puja to the Lord. It's been taught. And then he says, okay, now that you have done lot of puja, you have done whatever puja is prescribed in a prescribed way, you do up to Nevedya, Aarti, everything you have been doing. So next move to japa. Repeat the name of the God, sit in one place, calm. Now that you know you're sufficiently practiced to sit in one place for a period of time and do something. Now don't do anything except the japa. Just chant the name of the Lord. Keep on repeating the name of the Lord, and over a period of time, the japa will go to a stage called ajapa. The japa, without any your application of mind, the japa will keep repeating from within the inner recesses of your self, of your being. And that is japa, which is very good. And after doing japa for some time, go into the process called meditation, which is using mind alone. The mind is now become mellowed down by means of repeating the name of the Lord. Now, what do you do? To think of the Lord, meditate on the Lord. Now, once you do that, what happens? Then later on, he says, Jagata Ishadi Yukta Sevanam Ashtamurti Brudeva Puja. Why doing so? Always bear in mind that whatever you see, that anything that comes to your vision, not only vision here, as I told you many times, when we talk about Vedanta, all the five senses are commonly called as sight or vision or whatever. Anything that you either see with your physical eyes, or taste with your tongue, smell with your nose, feel with your tactile sensation, or hear with your ear. All these are nothing but one of the forms of eight forms of the Lord, Ashtamurti Brut. So always get into the habit of thinking everything that get immersed into the godly feeling is told here. Always nothing other than God. Be forever in the state of God consciousness by considering everything as one of the eight forms of the Lord is being taught in this loka. That is the best way to suppress your mind. That is the best way to eliminate your ego. These are all again formative statements. So, service of the world consists of the idea of God. That is, looking upon the world as God's manifestation is the worship of God, bearing the eightfold form. It's been declared in this sloka. And then, Uttamastavad, Uchamandataha, Chittajam Japa, Dhyanam Uttamam. He goes on to say how to do how to do all these prescribed things. He says, there is a gradation again given by Bhagavan here. Better than singing the praise of Lord. Better than singing the God's glory by means of Kirtanam or whatever. Is better than that. Hymns is japa, doing the japa. Doing just repeating, taking one name of the God that you have in mind, and just keep repeating the name of the Lord. Nothing else. Just keep repeating. And better than this, repeating the name of the Lord with a loud, audible sound, it's better to internalize the sound. Maybe don't produce a vocal, don't use a vocal cord. Without you using the vocal cord, you can still produce sound mentally. That is the second gradation. And the top grade is don't even do that internal vocalization. Instead, just be in the smaranam of Arunachala. Just be thinking of Arunachala without even producing that vocal cord sound. Yes, Uttamam. And then he goes on to say, Arjadaraya Shrotasa Samam Sarala Chintanam Viralatah Param, meaning meditation which is done uninterruptedly, like the flow of Arja, the flow of the ghee that we pour, or like how a river flows. Like that, if we are able to do our whatever we do, let us say our meditation, for example, sit in meditation, let it be as uninterrupted as possible, at least during the time of meditation that we have set forth. It's not for 24 hours. At least we have earmarked, okay, the next couple of hours I'm going to be sitting in meditation, in my meditation, usual place of meditation, and let that time be uninterrupted. Let the meditation go on uninterruptedly, is what is taught here in this song. So, Bhagavan is slowly making you come up the marga of bhakti, understand the nuances of bhakti. So, he says uninterrupted meditation is better. So, and then Veda Bhavana Sohamityasau Bhavana Mita Pavani Mata song, he says, is a very important concept he brings in as to say. that more than meditating, admitting difference between God and between yourself, what you should do, don't entertain such difference, which admits of no such difference is expressed as Soham. This is the Soham Bhava. Bhagavan has brought you through that step of Soham Bhava, which is taught by a lot of Vedantic methods of Vichara. It's big. So a lot of people who sit in Soham Bhava, that is, you think, I am not different from Arunachala. I and Arunachala are one and the same. We are not different. As we saw in the song of Ishvara, the difference between Ishvara and Jiva, only Upadhi is different. Ishvara has got Ishvara Maya, we have got Avidya as Upadhi. So when we don't entertain the thought that there is a difference, then what happens? It takes a Soham Bhava. So Soham Ityasam. So we go to the Soham Bhavam, but when the Soham Bhavam stabilizes, when it becomes your natural way of looking at the Lord, then the Soham Bhavam will also drop. Only being will start taking place. You won't even consider, you don't even have to think that I am and Lord are the same. You will just be. You will know that without even considering, without even saying the word that I and the Lord are one and the same, we will be completely transcending the Soham Bhavam, because we know we don't need that mind now. Mind has done its job, and it's time for the mind to drop. So mind drops, and what happens when the mind drops? Very simple. We always be when the mind drops. So this is a very important concept Bhagavan brings about in this 8th sloka. So far, when we came, let us say we are newbies to Bhagavan's teaching. We came to Bhagavan 10 years ago, whenever we came, and we heard about so many things. We come to the serene setting of ashramam, and we think that this is a temple. This ashram is another temple. Just like how we have Arunachaleshwara temple or some Vinayaka temple near our house or whatever. We think this is because everything is looking the same. There is a Shiva Linga. After all, there is puja taking place. Everything is like a temple. So our natural understanding is this is how whatever happens in temple is what will happen in Ramanashramam also, or any ashram for that matter. Ramanashramam definitely, because that is what we know. Right? So at the time we will run all the grand celebration of Navaratri, the 9-day festival will take place every evening. So much of elaborate rituals will be done. And on the first or second year of my coming to Ramanashram, I never used to miss that. I used to make arrangement in such a way that I don't miss it. I somehow make my time and come and stay all the 9 days, attend all the evening pujas that is happening, go behind and think this is the ultimate. Wow, what peace, what peace. Used to be the thought. How can I miss it? There will be Sri Vidya Havan happening. Day through, we'll be sitting, we'll be so beautifully enjoying all the rituals that is taking place. All this is needed for an ashram. But we thought this is all ashram is about, just like a temple, just like how they every day they do Trikala Puja and all that, or 6-time puja, where according to the size of the temple or according to the capability, all that happens. We think when we come to ashram, this is the purpose of ashram. Slowly, until we start getting some books in our hand, Bhagavan's teaching, and in the 8th song, when we come to 8th song, okay, I know, I've heard of this thing called puja before. I've heard of this thing called japa. Yeah, I've seen. My grandfather used to sit with the japa mala in hand, and he used to keep on chanting something, whatever. So I know that I'm not new to something called japa. I know that. And I've also heard so many channels I've seen, so many people sitting in meditation on all that, whatever meditation they talk about. And what they talk about is something else. But we are not unfamiliar with the term called meditation. Meditation is, at least to the best of our knowledge, sit in one corner, close your eyes, just do some mudra or whatever, close your eyes, then just keep thinking, okay, think of whatever you have conceived. This is what our initial understanding of meditation was, and we have come to that level. These three are things we know up to the previous song, up to the song 7, when Bhagavan said that these are all the Bhagavan has only helped us understand the grades, the gradation of which is better amongst the three. But in the 8th sloka, when we start reading more and more Bhagavan's work when we go to the ashram in our journey in the path of Sri Ramana. When we go there, and slowly, okay, I've come. Okay, I have 2 years have passed. I've been coming to Bhagavan, and I'm convinced, seeing Bhagavan's picture, being in the ashram, the presence of ashram, I've declared without any doubt, there is only Bhagavan in my life. There's nothing other than Bhagavan for me. 2 years, definitely, one who is being coming regularly will come to this conclusion, and he will stop going everywhere else. His interest will slowly wane. He won't be going to, okay, today I'll go to this ashram, tomorrow that ashram. No, it will slowly, you wait to only one ashram, and that will easily be our Ramanashram, without a doubt. All of us have got through this. Okay, now we have come to this state, and slowly 2 years have passed by, and now slowly some books have started coming into my hand, like Upadesa Saram or whatever. And I have also been watching because I participate in all the rituals. I see the evening Abhishekam, and after Abhishekam, all the kids chant Upadesa Saram, and I know there is something called Upadesa Saram. What is it? Now my interest is getting slowly, just being in the calmness of all this happening, just being in the basking in the glory that way, slowly our curiosity gets kindled. I want to know. They're all doing something. They're all chanting something. Oh, Bhagavan wrote this. I did not even know till that time. Bhagavan wrote all this. Oh, okay. I go to get to speak to somebody who's senior, who's or read something, some books or whatever, and try to understand. Oh, Bhagavan has done so many works. I did not know. I thought Bhagavan is a God. Bhagavan is God. For me, Bhagavan is God and my Guru. That's all. I did not know Bhagavan is given all this. Now, the interest is getting kindled. At this time, automatically the eighth sloka will start making sense to us. Okay, fine. I understood. Okay, first I'll go through the cursory meaning of Upadesa Saram. Let me not go into a very detailed study, but when he says, suddenly I come to this eighth sloka, Veda Bhavana Soham Nityasam. So Soham, practice Soham Bhavam, and what is that? You and Lord have said, oh, this is what Bhagavan is teaching. Slowly, our inclination towards such learning becomes high. We want to learn more and more of whatever Bhagavan is written. So we go to the bookstall, to the library, fetch all possible books about Bhagavan. Then we start reading the old devotees. We happen to come, and so many people have sung the glory of Bhagavan in so many ways. We want to get into that also. We go into that. We happily buy books like the Cherished Memory we have seen and all that. And many such books are there. And teachings of Bhagavan. Oh, talks with Ramana Maharishi. Okay. Day by day with Ramana Maharishi. Letters from the ashram. Ah, these books we start by one, start reading also. Very happy. Everything becomes new. So far, I knew I was I was young, I was naive. I know that there is a temple and there is a God in the temple, and this is all my life is. I go to my Kuladevam or whatever. I go to all Ishvara temple. Ishvara is what I want to be with. So I go to all the temples. I keep on visiting temple after temple after temple. Pray, come, pray, come. What to pray, I don't know. I'll pray something. At least, even if I'm not praying for myself, I say for the sake of Lokakshemam. Everybody be happy, let everybody be prosperous. But this is all I know. I'll go everywhere and I'll be doing the same. When I come here also, for the first 2 years, I was enjoying everything, considering it as a temple, and I was doing all that. Now, slowly, Bhagavan brings about all this in our hand. One day he gives. This is how he's given. Has he not? This is how every one of us came to know a little bit, step by step about Bhagavan. He started pouring all this to you, provided you're sincere and you're taken by the Guru, completely consumed by the Guru, by your complete dedication to the Guru and Guru Arpanam, and say, you, Bhagavan, you are my Satguru, there is no one else I know of, you are the one, I surrender unto you. Then you say, okay, fine. He'll start getting one by one to you. Look at the eighth song when we come. Oh, Bhagavan has taught about this Abheda Bhavan. No Bheda. Okay. Now my interest is kindled. I will go. Okay, what else did Bhagavan teach? Oh, Bhagavan, okay, fine. Then I'll settle. Bhagavan says, do puja, do japa, do meditation, do keep repeating the name of God. This is Bhagavan's teaching. This is the core teaching. I will conclude at this point in time. And there are people who have asked to Bhagavan, Bhagavan, I am inclined in doing. We are also now reading some books like Talks with Ramana Maharshi. Bhagavan said, read. Bhagavan, I am very fond of this pranayama. Every day I wake up in the morning and I do pranayama. Is that good? Very nice, very nice. Do. So we come to the conclusion, Bhagavan asks us to do pranayama. That is Bhagavan's teaching. So we'll start a new market. We'll proceed with the journey. We'll do pranayama and other things also. And after some time, we'll read more and more of Bhagavan's work. We'll start understanding, no, this is not necessarily the only thing Bhagavan is teaching. There is something else. There is some fundamental teaching of Bhagavan. I see in the slokas I see here, especially after the completion of 15 slokas, when the Raja Yoga Marga, the Bhakti, the Karma Yoga Marga is finished. Bhagavan is talking now something else. He says something called, who am I? What is this? I didn't know all these days. I know to go to temple. I came to temple called Ramanashramam. I enjoyed my stay in the temple. They are giving me good accommodation. They are giving me good food. And I'm happy. I'm brimming with happiness. But Bhagavan says this is a drop in the ocean of called happiness. What you're experiencing is a drop. Because the moment you go out from the ashram, go out to your day-to-day work, you are again immersed in problems. And it is very clear that this is not permanently, I'm not able to stay in the state of such happiness. Why, Bhagavan? I come back to ashram. That's the only thing I know to do. Now I come back to Bhagavan. I'm not peaceful. And so many problems are hitting me every day, here and there, everywhere I'm hit. What should I do? Then Bhagavan, out of mercy, gives us more and more of opens up the marga, gives okay. Then at the time, our conviction that Bhagavan has written this work called Who Am I? So far, I did not pay. Yes, even if I read it only I used to read a novel. But I have to understand word for word as to what is Bhagavan trying to say here. What do? I open up the work called Who Am I? And I go through. Have a lot of doubts. I don't understand half of what is being talked about. He says, Manonasha. I said, what? Manonasha? Why? How will I live? All that keeps coming one by step by step. And we go to some people who have already studied, who have already learned it from somebody or whatever, and get some clarification. They'll say, no, this is the path. This is the path taught by Bhagavan. This is the core of Bhagavan's teaching. Now that Bhagavan has taken you into his marga, he is not going to leave you. His guidance has already started working on you. So you will start coming to ashram looking the whole the setup of the ashramam and the way that you're going about your day-to-day activities in the ashramam when you are there. Very differently, you will start looking at it. You will be only bothered to know what has Bhagavan said. What did Bhagavan say? Then you read Upadesa Saram, all the 15th from 16th sloka onwards. You start going through various small works written by devotees, old devotees who have learned all this first time from Bhagavan. Then you understand the code. That is where on the 16th sloka, Bhagavan opened up, and from there we know. Now I have come to the crux of the teaching of Bhagavan. This is what I so far thought. So many people are even now mainly argue. No, Bhagavan has told to do japa. That is Bhagavan's ultimate teaching. Bhagavan has told to do pranayama. All that will be happening. So what happens then? We open up slowly. We come to this 16th sloka. No, I am able to understand Bhagavan's teaching. I'm not able to, I don't know everything yet, but I know the broad outlook of Bhagavan's marga is to turn self-word, to turn within, antar-muga, leave out Bhagavan's verdict. This much I'm able to appreciate. So what I do, I try. I'm going to take only baby steps. It's not that I'm going to achieve anything immediately. No. So what happens? I'll try. I'll try. Because I have faith in Bhagavan's word. I know that Bhagavan's word is ultimate. There's nothing beyond Bhagavan's word. So what happens? I'm going to sit. I attempt to do this vichara. Initially, I'm going to not going to do it right. I'm going to do it like a mantra. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? then I read more. Bhagavan gives it. Bhagavan, in Krama, he will exactly give you according to where you are, according to how much sincere you are in your sadhana. He will keep, he will elevate it. So he'll say, no, no, this is not a mantra. Okay, you have to understand who this I, this who am I. The prompt is given. Based on that prompt, first Bhagavan says, don't give importance to the world. The world, treat the whole world as a one long dream, a thing beyond the dream. So that is all the value. So he's taken the value from, just like how you go to bed, you dream, you get a big dream. You're not going to get up and then say, oh, that happened in the dream. You're not going to take any action based on the dream because you know it is false. Bhagavan says, same is true with what is happening currently. You don't need to do anything, accepting the realization of who you are. You don't need to do anything. Whether you do it or not, your karma will do whatever, let it do. But we now understand that first, we have to consider all the entire world. There is nothing called creation. Oh, this is my. We'll come to it. Bhagavan has now started reading so many works by so many people, so many of his devotees, disciples to us. But we are reading all this. And we are coming. We are able to, yes, yes. I'm able to take, if not a great, I'm not able to run. I'm able to walk with Bhagavan's teaching. I'm able to take baby steps. I'm able to do something. Next, he says, having considered the whole world as a dream, leave out, leave out about the focus inside. This is all you need to do. And in the 16th sloka, he sets the field, he sets the ground for that, for doing that. Leave out external objects because they are non-existent anyway. And even if they seemingly exist, it's of no value to you. So take them up. And turn inside, focus on your feeling called I. So Bhagavan's original teaching is opening up now. So after years of coming to ashramam, years of understanding the whole purpose of ashram, slightly in a different, totally in a different way, slightly wide, very in a very different way. Now I know that what I should be doing. Bhagavan is making his journey. It takes time. It takes time. While doing all this, one can definitely go to the ashram and enjoy everything happening in the ashram. The Aradhana is taking place, the Jayanti festivities are taking place, the Kartika Deepam festivity, 10 days is taking place. All this is full of rituals. Enjoy, participate in everything and enjoy, but your outlook towards them will be a little different. You don't think that is the only thing. That is also part of it. So you will be participating in all that, but you won't think that is everything for you. We were talking about our journey. We participate in all this can be happening, but our focus or the way in which we react to all the ritualistic happening becomes different. Even though we participate in them, even though we enjoy them to every bit of it we enjoy, but our outlook towards them or the way we attach importance to everything undergoes a kind of a change. So that happens, when it happens, and we have also been, our mind is now constantly thinking in terms of Bhagavan's teaching. What is the core of Bhagavan's teaching? Upadesa Saram, yes, 16 sloka, up to 16 sloka, I'm able to follow. Then we go to the, from 17 sloka, Bhagavan opens the marga like a floodgate he opens from 16 onwards, from 16 to 20 especially. He opens the floodgate to us. So what did he say? Just leave out externalities, focus on yourself. That is something one has to do. And in the next sloka itself, he says the step, what is manas? When you do an inquiry and find out, try to understand what is this thing called manas, and you will come to understanding that there's nothing called mind. And then, even if seemingly by force of our habit we conceive something as mind, Bhagavan introduces a concept called thought alone is mind. That's nothing called mind. So far, in all our walks in life, we were told to use our mind. Right from very young, when we were very young, the only thing that was advised to us is, look, use your mind. Don't sit idly. Think something, do something. Use your mind. Don't you have mind? And it becomes so much ingrained in us to use the mind. So now Bhagavan brings us to a completely opposite direction he takes us. He says, there is nothing called mind. So what are you going to use? This mind is pseudo. It is not, it's a non-existent thing. So suddenly we come to understand, oh, this is the nature of mind. Bhagavan says there is nothing called mind. And even if you perceive or if you are able to see something, a seeming existence of mind, it is nothing but thoughts. It's told to you in this 17th sloka, 18th sloka. So now new ways are opening up in front of us, and new methods are coming to us. With full zeal, we start following all this. So what is mind? Mind is nothing but thought, and Bhagavan introduces yet another sweeping, beautiful way of understanding of all the thoughts. The thought called I is the first. We all have been born, and all of us, let us assume there's an average age of about 30, 30 plus average, or even more, whatever. So far in our life, we never even bothered to understand that something called I thought is there. There are so many thoughts that we know, so many thoughts of other things. My thought of going on a vacation, my thought of going studying hard, my thought of mastering this subject, that subject, all is there. But we never even knew that there is something called an I thought. Now, having learned this from Bhagavan, what we do? We sit and try to understand that there is nothing called mind, even if a seeming mind is accepted, only are made of only thoughts. And of all the thoughts, first a thought called I has to come about. Only around this I thought, all the other thoughts about the external world or anything about the entire universe can happen. So Bhagavan makes you understand this arising of I thought. Then he says, okay, what do you have to do in order to get rid of all this Mike word? Full uproot I thought. Because when the I thought is not there, no other thought can come at all, come into being at all. All these other thoughts come into being only after catching hold of the thought called I. So Bhagavan says, the inquiry where the I thought rises from. What happens? The I thought collapses. We will slowly start understanding, yes, Bhagavan is giving something, Bhagavan's marga is something else now. This is not taught in Vedanta, in very various Vedantic way of teaching. No, this is something radical. This is something so direct. And it's so intuitive. I'm able to appreciate. So, all Bhagavan says is, there is only one thought that is a culprit called I thought, the thought called I. Get rid of the thought. All your working towards, all your energy should be spent towards eliminating that I thought, not towards anything else in the world. So, not towards saying, no, I am not this, I am not this, niti, and all. No one makes you understand that only to an extent. He straight comes to the direct path, also called as the mountain path, because it's tough. It's tough for people with external orientation of the world. But Bhagavan is not leaving you. He's journeying with you. Look, the moment you first visit to the ashram till now that you have come to a stage where you are seriously learning Upadesa Saram. Has Bhagavan ever forfeited? It's only because of Bhagavan's presence that anything, even the book is coming to our hand. Even our mind thinks, or our way of going behind the Bhagavan's teaching is also coming only because of Bhagavan's grace. So that will not go anywhere at all. It will only keep increasing as we go by. There's no question of just like how Bhagavan used to say, where it's all like how a prey that has got caught into the jaw of a tiger. There's no escape from it. Because the grip is so much that no way of escape. Similarly, we have come under the ambit of Bhagavan's grace, no escape. Consumption, pure consumption is what is taking place, and Bhagavan is working always on that only. And in the most, sophisticated, yet understandable way. Now he goes, okay, now that you have given a thought, you have got a very strong focus on what this I thought is. You keep watching that I thought, what happens to it? It drops off. It vanishes like a phantom. And this is the direct path Bhagavan declares this year. And with the individual height thus annihilated, when you have dropped the eye is gone, and at that place, unending force called I, the Aham, Spurana, comes out from within. And when it comes out, you are full of bliss. Because now you are not anymore in the state of ego or the rising eye. You have transcended that ego and you have gone to a state of your own nature. The I now shines forth in all its glory. I am I. So at this point in time, if at all anybody has to ask you, who are you? The only meaningful thing you can say is, I am I. Because the personality is dropped. The I thought is gone. Everything is uprooted. As Bhagavan told, you don't need to work on everything one after the other. Uproot the I thought by giving keen attention to it. This is the marga, direct path given by Bhagavan. This is the essence of the who am I vichara. So with the help of that, we are we are focusing strongly into the feeling of I and making the I come down. And the place where it falls, it can fall only on itself. When we say the snake has disappeared and the rope is seen, the snake is not there, so it is gone. Where can it go? It is not from, it did not come from somewhere to go somewhere. Similarly, the side did not come at all. It's always only uh, the pristine pure I called Satchidananda, but only because of ignorance. So what is happening in the process? Only the ignorance is getting removed. And we know ignorance is a non-material thing, there's no question of where it goes. It just disappears, that's all. I mean, it is not there anymore. The ignorance is gone, knowledge has come in place of ignorance. And this knowledge is high. That is consciousness, that is bliss. So, as we saw, the Sat Chit, now we have come to a stage where we are eliminating the pseudo I by means of keen focus and coming, and automatically the brilliance of the dazzling I, your self pure I, your pristine pure I, your original state, comes on its own and shines. And at that time, no mind is needed because mind is eliminated anyway, but no mind is needed because you don't need to do anything with mind. What are you going to do? Because there is only one being. We have gone to the state of Advitiyam. So there is nothing other than being. So now we are able to understand a lot more with a lot more. Bhagavan always used to say, you just be, you just be. What does Bhagavan say? You be, you be. Initially, we were struggling. Now we know what is being. Being is the Sat. That's all. There's nothing other than the Sat. And the Sat is Chit by itself. It knows its existence by itself. And it is forever brimming with Anandam. So there is nothing more. Everything is solved. This is Bhagavan's direct teaching. So Satchitananda is risen. And the Satchitananda, when the eye falls, at the place of eye, the pristine pure eye automatically shines. And this is the path as we decline. And then Bhagavan taught, as we saw in the last session also, about what is the difference between Ishvara and Jiva. It is only Upadhi. And what we have to do is get rid of the Upadhi, get rid of your Avidya. And after getting rid of that of Avidya, the mind, and he says, because all these Panchakosas or Jata, they are insentient, they are not I. All this is as a matter of statements Bhagavan gives here for us to understand they are not us. Don't ever be trapped. So after teaching the direct path, he makes us understand. And you have to understand even from the placement of this sloka, that this is not Bhagavan's mark. Bhagavan's mark is direct path of investigating the I. So Bhagavan finally comes and says, Bandha and Mukti are only mind's construct. There is nothing called bondage or liberation. So far, even after with all the backup of Bhagavan's teaching of Upadesa Saram, we always were under the impression that I am under bondage, I need to get liberated. That is why we are following all this matter. Bhagavan, first you settle down in the practice, and then Bhagavan says ultimately, one more secret is there in the whole thing. And that secret is there is never a bondage, never a liberation. What are you working towards? It's nothing. But we cannot agree to it, that statement, until we go there, until we start being just pure being. At that time, the statement of Bhagavan will make sense to us. No one was ever under any bondage. No one is aiming for, seeking for liberation. No one is doing any act towards all this sadhana. There's no sadhaka. There's no sadhana. One sweeps the entire thing, but this can be understood only when we go there. So, if we try to say, Bhagavan has told there is no bandha, there is no liberation, what should I do? These are all the so-called neo-Vedantins of today. They can't do that. There's nothing. Everything is mine. Leave, go. And then what do you do? Nothing. You gain no progress, no peace. Everything is judged only by the amount of peace that you get, peace of mind that you get. And there's no peace. Even after saying keep on, you can, like a parrot, you can keep repeating. There is no liberation. There is no bondage. But you can only feel it only when you go there. So you have to necessarily pass through all these grades, and then you will automatically appreciate there is no bandha, there is no mukti, there is no one under bondage, there is no one seeking for liberation, there is no process, there is no sadhana, there is no sadhaka. All this will come at that time. And having understood all this, Raghunath comes and says, this is the teaching of Bhagavan. Eliminate the ego, nothing else. The simplest conclusion comes. And this is the best purpose as declared by Ramana Maharishi, by our Lord. Our Lord says, the ultimate teaching of Bhagavan's, the ultimate understanding of Bhagavan's teaching is eliminate the ego. Be without the rising ego. So this is all we need to do. This is all we can do. And the moment it is done, then if somebody asks, what is this? This is tapas. Mahat idam tapo. This is the greatest of tapas. This is Ramana Bhakti. This is the statement of her love. Arunachalam, Arunachalam, Arunachalam.
Today's session is really what I can say, sir. This is grace of Bhagavan. Okay. The way it was summarized, the way it was taken to give as an example at personal level, how the journey goes through. Definitely to me, it gave more clarity rather than what I used to have. So this will help me in the progress, means the step towards Bhagavan, whatever, okay, he makes me to take. I'm not able to express myself correctly. Today I felt these many years we have been coming to ashram and okay, Upadesa Saram, we listen, we keep and listen, but as you said, it is only his grace. He made us to know the path, means how you have to go through. Okay, he made us through you, means he guides us from someone or the other, as you said. Okay, it is Vasuji, you are the one, okay, who are guiding us in this. Definitely, this will help each and everyone who is listening, even though they might not come up with questions and all the other things. Definitely, everyone will be thinking and internalizing the things. This will take them a step ahead towards the path of Bhagavan. Definitely, I do feel that way, sir. Today, I just felt this is the grace of Bhagavan, means after coming so many years to him, he poured on us unknowingly. Now he felt that, okay, at least now I can tell you this is the path. Now you start understanding. Okay. That's how I felt it. And the way it is summarized today, I got much more clarity of the things so that I keep on listening to it repeatedly so that I internalize and imbibe. And definitely by His grace and your guidance and support, will take a step ahead in the journey. Okay. Mm, that's all I can say, Vasuji. Arunachala. Arunachala.
Arunachalam, Arunachalam, Arunachalam. Glad. Arunachalam.
That 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 30th sloka meaning today it is so clear to me. Okay, it is so clear to me today that as you said, just in one sentence he said everything. Okay, not all those 29 slokas are also okay, only that 30th sloka, that is the essence and that is the thing which we have to follow. Today I got a clarity on that. So now I just pray to him that he
Absolutely.
gives me the buddhi to follow his teachings and be in his path. Okay, that is only prayer, and I cannot say anything to you. Only pranamam, and it is his grace that we could have the essence of Upadesa Saram. And definitely, repeatedly, we have to go on listening to it so that we get much more clarity to our thoughts and so that we can imbibe and internalize and follow him. Today it's really when you took it in the summary form by making it as a personal experience to make us understand much more, it is much more clearer than um, previously for me. Okay, for other people it might be definitely the way they want to take it, but for me today is definitely I felt it is
I
entirely
used to
his
always,
grace.
I used to always think about it. Yes, I used to always try to recollect. Okay, I've been going to ashram for so number of years. What happened? When I traced back, this is exactly how it was. This is exactly I used to. My outlook or my purpose of going to ashram was something else. It was good. It was so beautiful, blissful, peaceful. Everything was there. But some larger thing was not. I was not. Bhagavan was preparing me. I could understand. The preparatory work was being done by Bhagavan because I've come to Bhagavan and I've seen after seeing Bhagavan sitting there, especially on the new hall, the big picture of portrait of Bhagavan on which on sitting on the tiger skin, and that's such a big one with such a glorious look, penetrating look. The moment I saw that, who can escape? I was consumed. I know. I've come to my final destination. I know this is my Satguru. And fortunately for me, there has been never a guru before or after. The only guru I came to is Bhagavan, and over. There are people who used to go to that, here, there, and all that, finally come to Bhagavan and settle down. Well, that's all fine. For me, it was so that it was the first and the last. So I came, and that was enough. Bhagavan's guidance started slowly. Okay, my conception or the purpose of my visits to ashram was totally something else, even though it was great. And then slowly, he put me on to right people. He made right materials come to my hand. He even made materials that nobody else so far has touched come to my hand. Everywhere, every inch, the grace is pouring. And I'm not able to think of anything other than this. But I'm not fit to be the best of sadhak. I'm such a poor, lousy sadhak. What am I doing? Bhagavan is giving all the grace. I am not. Am I fit? Bhagavan will take care of me. Will take care of every one of us. He will take care of me too. He will not leave till I'm thoroughly consumed, till I'm destroyed by the grace of Bhagavan. Keep up. I have faith, even though I am not yet in a position to call myself as a fit sadhak. What am I doing? I don't know. He's taking care.